This market is crazy, guy. This market is completely crazy. You can even not stay 1 second without news coming from all over the world. And for example, I was ready today to talk about the last quarter of Nvidia, but we have other news coming, and this is incredible. As I told you, this market is crazy, and Nvidia is dropping. Is dropping. Before to deep dive today in the webinar, I would like to share with you something interesting for you that probably you will appreciate. Uh, you will appreciate because we created the Ambassador Forecaster program. And very easy, if you like the Forecaster terminal, if you love to talk with people and with your friends and with your family regarding the Forecaster, here we are. We will send you 250 personalized business cards that you can use in order to talk about Forecaster with people. On these business cards, you will have a personalized discount code that who is gonna use it will have a discount on the Forecaster terminal of 20%, and you will get 10% commission on every plan that will be signed thanks to your code. And for example, if someone is going to subscribe today, okay, and in 1 year he will renew the subscription, you will get again the 10%. So this is something interesting. This is something I know many of you will love because you love the Forecaster. And that's it. It's very easy. You have here I can share it with in the chat, so you can have the link, the direct link. If you're watching the recorded version of this webinar, you will find it in the description. But very simple. Here you have all the questions, everything regarding the program. Very simple. If you would like to join, you have to fill a form. Very simple, with your name, last name, company if required, the phone, the email, the country, and of course your address. And we just plotted here some questions regarding the forecaster in order to really understand if you are looking for the business card in order to talk about the forecaster and not make the filter for your joint. Okay, so I'm joking. And that's it. So very simple, nothing, we don't need no serious effort by your side, by the way. So you don't have to strongly sell something or do something. This is just actually for fun. If you like the forecaster and you would like to be an ambassador, here we are. We can invest some money in order to give you the personalized business card. And that's it. It's something in Italy people are really loving. So I would like to understand if also here in this webinar with our, let's say, international audience, someone will ask for the business card. And we are more than happy to send you abroad the business card. Sin is asking me if today in Switzerland is freezing, but I don't know because at the moment I'm in the Maltese office. Look, we are in Malta. We are in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. So we are here. Look, guys, here we have an office, and here we are. Look, I'm here in this tiny island in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, and this is Italy. This is Switzerland, and I have an office here, and we are very close to Tunisia and Libya and Egypt. So it's very hot here. It's almost it's like summer, nice and warm. Roy, wet and cold in Geneva, in Tessin, which is the area of Switzerland where I live. Yesterday was snowing. Yeah, Philip, I had family who lived there once upon a time. Really? Wow. Anil, if I ever visit Malta, can I see the office inside? Of course, of course. I'm not here all the time, but if you come to Malta, you can find our office, and of course you can ask about Riccardo, which is the director of this office, and of course you can visit it. Yeah. So, as I told you, the market is crazy, guys. My idea was to talk about the quarterly result of Nvidia, but the news are coming every day very fast. And today, what is happening is something really interesting, because if we go here to the forecaster terminal and we activate the forecaster AI agent and we ask what's happening on Nvidia, here we are. Nvidia has faced notable challenges in recent trading sessions. As November 25, which is today, the stock has experienced a decline with a reported drop of approximately 3.58. It's 5 now, as I show you. Following news that Meta platform is considering a switch to Google design chips for its data center operations. This shift poses a threat to Nvidia market dominance in AI chip manufacturing. Wow, guys, everything is happening very, very, very fast. Very, very, very fast. And today we try to understand what is really happening, because abandoning Nvidia chips, it's something which is very difficult, by the way, in my opinion, because Nvidia comes, of course, with the chips, with the GPUs. By the way, if you want to see all the news regarding this matter and regarding Nvidia, you can go to the news page where you have all the best news from all the website. And Nvidia also comes together not only with the chips, but also with CUDA, which is the infrastructure. You can use it in order to let the chips, the GPUs, be very efficient. Okay. So this is something which we know is the real power of Nvidia, which is now tumbling because of this news. But I really think that switching completely from Nvidia to Google, it's something that will be almost impossible, if not inconvenient for a company, because we know Nvidia is the best chip maker all across the globe. And I mean, they have the best chips ever at the moment. Okay. So this is the typical case where a news is creating a drop in prices, but this could be an opportunity to jump again long on Nvidia shares. And talking about Nvidia, of course, we can do an analysis thanks to the forecaster terminal. And I would like to show you a new button in our forecaster AI agent, which is here. Investor sentiment. This is a very nice button, because when you click it, you activate it, and the artificial intelligence give us, which is the investor sentiment, divided in what the bulls say and what the bears say. Okay. And so, for example, in these cases, you can see who is still bullish on Nvidia, say this topic. and it explosive AI-driven fundamentals, data center revenue growing at triple-digit rate with an exponential gross and operation margin, underpinned by leadership in GPU accelerated networking and full-stack AI platform. Full-stack AI platform is what I was telling to you. Nvidia GPUs, they are not coming alone. They are coming together with CUDA, which is an entire platform for developers. And this is the real moat for the company for the long run. Durable competitive moat. Here we are, CUDA, software ecosystem, developer lock-in, and rapid chip roadmap support pricing power, high ROE, and continued share gains versus AMD, Intel, and custom ASICs. Okay? Valuation supported by growing macro tailwinds. While headline multiples are high, bulls argue that are justified by multiple year AI capex cycle, recurring hyperscaler and enterprise demand, and strong free cash flow generation plus buybacks. Okay? On the bear side, we can see stretched valuation and priced for perfection risk. Nvidia trades at a premium to the broader semiconductor group and many intrinsic value estimates, leaving limitation margin of safety if AI growth of margin moderate. In this case, guys, talking about fundamentals, as you know, thanks the forecaster terminal, we can just apply some very popular fair value calculation method. And here we are. If we eliminate the enterprise value on sales, which is a method we can use with companies that are still losing money, and the discounted cash flow, which is a lot higher compared to Peter Lynch and the economic value added, we still have a company which for the long run is undervalued. Okay? And this is something extremely important because at the end of the day, what drives the stock prices are the fundamentals. Okay? And if we go back to the overview page of the forecaster terminal, where we can find the long-term chart, the 10-year chart, as you can see, prices of Nvidia are driven by the net income for the company. And so what is happening right now is probably an opportunity for the long run, because if we go to the 5-year or 3-year, as you can see, prices are starting on the stock market, are creating right now a gap between the net income and the prices, okay? And we know that in the long run, this line, the net income line plotted directly on the price, is what we call the equilibrium point. And in the long run, prices tend to go back to this equilibrium point. Okay? Starting from a low, but also, as you can see here, for example, starting from a high. Okay? Also here. And also here. This is what it's just happened. Okay? So let's try to understand, thanks to the forecaster terminal, where the Nvidia prices can go in the next week and month. Okay? So, talking about seasonality, as you can see, at the moment, the current year, so the actual prices, are moving exactly like they did exactly last year. Okay, look, 82% of correlation between the current year and the last year. So we can switch off the 5-year seasonality. And as you can see, if we see the chart of last year, we can see that in front of us, we could have a drop, an important drop, that last year made minus 28% in performance, okay? In an hypothetical short trade, in this exact time window last year, okay, we had a 20%, 28% performance trade, okay? So, thanks to the fact that today the current prices are moving exactly like they did in the past, could be what we can expect in the future, okay? Also, if we jump to projection and we see the correlations and we see the projection created by the artificial intelligence, okay, as you can see, the most correlated case in the past expect a drop in prices, which is a minus 20, starting from the recent prices, recent level, okay? We have more probability for a long leg, but I mean, with a projection which is moderate or even a little bit weak, okay? If we go back, for example, here, we can definitely see that the most correlated event, which goes back to 2011, had a short um, ended with a drop in prices again. Okay, Timothy, you are in Bristol, and and it's very wet, the weather. I can imagine. I've been in Bristol. Do you know that Bristol Pound exists? I came to Bristol to make a video regarding the Bristol Pound. Do you know something the Bristol Pound, Timothy? I don't know if you know, but in look, Bristol Pound. Bristol Pound was a form of local complementary and community currency launched in UK in 2012. Look, I came to Bristol, yeah, to make a video regarding the Bristol Pound. And I think it's still here. Yes, look, Bristol Pound legacy. Oh no, they ended in 2021. Incredible. I didn't know. No, look. We had to take the sad decision in the middle of 2023 at last to close Bristol Pay. No, I'm very sad. This was such a good idea. I made a video regarding the Bristol Pound. It's in Italian, so I'm not going to share it with you. But I was in Bristol paying everything with Bristol Pounds. Nice. Amazing. By the way, let's go back to Nvidia. I'm very sad Bristol Pound is not on the market anymore. So, this is what we can expect, okay, from Nvidia, especially thanks to seasonality. We can definitely see that we can expect a weak period, and maybe this is something that will arrive or thanks to this talk between Google and Meta. And probably this is a period of negativity, of pessimism that will last at least until the next earning that will be in 2026 in February, at the end of February. By the way, I would like to remember to you that if you click on this little button close to next earning or dividend X date or payment date, look, I can do it like this, it goes directly in your calendar so you can find everything. For example, today is Alibaba Group Limited next earnings, and this is something very interesting done by the forecaster to tell you, look, something you were interested in is happening today. Okay. And of course, you can find also the calendar here. And of course, you can write something here in the calendar. I don't know. Happy birthday, mom. Okay. And if you save it, you will have it in your forecaster calendar. And of course, if you're not interested anymore, you can cancel it. Okay. And as you can see in my calendar, for example, I already clicked on Nvidia um, Nvidia ex dividend date, and this is why it's now in my calendar. If we go to February, here we are, 24, we have the next earnings. This is something very convenient in order to use it, okay? So, talking about Nvidia, we can definitely expect a drop in prices again, but I really think in the long run, it will be an opportunity, because if we go to check the qualitative scorecard of the company, okay, or the future expectation, again, thanks to AI, we can definitely see a company which is very, very nice. If we analyze the company with the qualitative scorecard, we can definitely see that we have 8 point out of 10. The only two red spot we can find here is regarding the CEO. What would happen if the CEO left tomorrow? Is there a clear succession plan? No. Try to imagine what can happen today if in the news we will see that Jensen Wang has died, for example. It would be a disaster for the company, okay? It will be a complete disaster for the company. And number 7, does most of the revenue come from recurring sourcing or long-term contract? And the answer is no, because primarily non-recurring hardware sales, okay? We have updated this button, and as you can see here, we have a final assessment. And if you want to go deeper in the analysis, you can just click the button, and here you have a complete deep explanation of every single points. And believe me, is the best analysis you can do in you can make regarding a company, because we also switched to a new model of artificial intelligence, which is the latest model of OpenAI. And guys, it's amazing. It's really powerful. Look how many information it can extract by the forecaster, by the news, by the internet, and you can have it all the information here, point by point, very perfectly made. Okay, here we are. So we also updated here the future expectation, and as you can see here, you can have a resume of what the expectation could be for the company. Very interesting. But let me go to the S&P 500, because I would like to analyze. We would like to analyze also the S&P 500, because here we are. Let's start with the fundamental analysis, guys. Here we are. After the recent drop, we have a non-devaluation situation of almost 7%. So when we were at the all-time high for this index, as you probably experienced in the past, every time prices for an index goes and reach the fair value level, markets start to be crazy. And this is exactly what happened. Okay. So at the moment, we are still undervalued, but just a little bit. And this is the perfect condition, for example, to see more drops in prices. Okay. If we go to see, for example, the overbought and oversold section, at the moment, we are in a neutral phase, in a neutral part. Okay. So we are not in overbought, of course. We are not in panic selling mode. And this is exactly the best situation that allow prices to follow the trend they are in. So, for example, at the moment, this is the perfect conditions to see more drop in prices. Okay. Let's have a look to the seasonality, because this is the layer that can give us a clearly idea of what is happening. And as you can see, also here, also on the S&P, not only on the Nvidia stock, the actual prices, the current year, is moving exactly like it did last year in the same period. So we can take away the 5-year seasonality, and in this case, we can use the trended version of the prices for the S&P 500. And as you can see here, you can see that we can definitely expect what we saw on Nvidia stock, which is a period of negativity on the market. In this exact period last year, if we did a short trade, as I'm simulating right now, we had a 7.5% performance. Okay. What does it mean? It means, in my opinion, that if the S&P 500 will drop another 7%, we will find an index which will be around 15, 17 percent undervalued. And this is probably what will help us in finding a bottom, because fundamentally speaking, an undervalued index, it's something really interesting to invest in a economy which is doing well, with company which are beating the expectation and so on. Okay, that's it. So this is what we can expect, but as we can do also not only for shares, but we can do also here for income for all the companies in the S&P 500. Okay, and here we are, it's growing, guys. This index is very strong. Of course, every time prices reach the fair value, market get nervous, but this is a market that will probably grow for the long term again in the future. In the short term, and with short term, I told you 2 or 3 months, we can definitely expect a drop, but for the entire market, we can expect a drop, for example, something like 10%. Okay? Perfect. Last but not least, guys, let's go to see the natural gas. Natural gas is very interesting at the moment, because let me show you the seasonality. Look at the seasonality. If we also add the 10 and 15-year seasonality, we can definitely see, thanks to correlation, that the current year is moving exactly like it did in the past. Okay? So, natural gas is moving exactly like its seasonality. And if we highlight this entire period, for example, which of course show a drop on the chart, this is what happened in the past. In an hypothetical short trade, we were profitable between 80% and 90% of times, with an average return which was between 23 and 32%. This is what we can expect for this period that we are approaching on the natural gas. I don't know if you remember, but I made a video few months ago regarding the natural gas, and we went long. We made a long here exactly for the same reason, but opposite. Okay. And this is something amazing, because also if we go here in the overbought and oversold section, here we have the natural gas, which is in overbought. It's starting to be in overbought section, as you can see here. Okay. Here we are. Very interesting, guys. Very, very interesting. We cannot use the code report at the moment because the datas are not updated yet because of the shutdown, but they are running very fast, and they are updating at the CFTC Commission. They are updating all the datas. Okay, but very interesting. Here we are in just one click. Thanks to the forecaster terminal, we have the seasonality, we have the most correlated, and it's very interesting. Definitely, we are approaching a period where naturally natural gas tend to drop. And this is something interesting, because if we go here, I show you something very interesting. This is the website of the US Energy Information Administration. And if we go here, where we have the storage chart, we can see the storages in the United States are on the top. So we have lot of, we can expect a decrease in the demanding, okay? And the same, if we go here, which is the equivalent, but for Europe, as you can see, the storage in all the European country are really high. It means that the tanks are full of natural gas, and this is the perfect condition to let the natural gas prices drop. Okay, because the all the countries has the tanks really full of gas, and this is why we went short on natural gas a few days ago. Okay, Ali, what happen if we get a cold winter? Is this it will increase the demand for natural gas? Yep, but at the moment the tanks are full, and the expectation, at least for now, for the winter, are not so bad. And this is why this is a situation that we would like to try to catch. We would like to not catch a falling knife, but we would like to throw a knife. Okay, and we just closed the long, which we opened in the past month, and you can go to our YouTube channel, and you can see the video. And now we are just doing the opposite, okay, which is a short. I would like also to talk very quickly about the Bitcoin, because it's dropping and I'm suffering a lot, because as you probably know, I'm heavily invested in Bitcoin. Okay. But if we go here to the overbought and oversold section, here we are. We are in extremely panic selling. We are in an extremely oversold situation. And since many, many months, it's the first time we can see this situation, which is also colored in green on the market mood meter, because we are really, really low. So what can we expect from Bitcoin? Also here, we can go to seasonality and we can see something interesting. At the moment, the current year is not moving like any seasonality. When it's so low, the correlation, it means that it's doing the opposite. When it's red, we can definitely say that the Bitcoin in this case is doing the opposite compared to the seasonality. Okay? And this is, of course, what you can see on the chart. Seasonality was going up here and the Bitcoin started to drop. Okay? But what is interesting, and this gives me the opportunity also to explain to you what the trend button is that in general and on average, when on the seasonality chart we have an inversion of the trend, which is something like here, like here, like here, okay? It works, even if the correlation is not very high. As you can see, on average, when we have a changing in trends in the seasonality, where we have a bottom on seasonality, we can find it also on the current year, even if the correlation is very low. And this is something amazing because we are very close to an inversion point that you can also see it occurred very precisely also in the last 10 years, 7 years, 5 years. I can show you. I show you only the 10 years. And thanks to the trended version, we can see that more or less when we have a very important low in the seasonality, even if we don't have a high correlation, we have a very important very important low in prices. Okay. Anil, also if a peace is made between Ukraine and Russia, it will drop further regarding the natural gas. Yes, of course. Yes, of course. And that situation is something that must be fixed sooner or later. Okay, must be fixed. And of course, Trump is looking very strongly to finishing to let the situation finishing in Ukraine. We don't know. We will see. We will see what we do. Thanks to seasonality and thanks to forecaster, is doing what the statistics are telling to us. Okay. Okay. So regarding these stocks and the fundamental page, we added something really interesting, which are in the raw page where you can find the income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow. You can find, starting from a few days ago, also the revenue grow 1 year, the revenue grow 5 year, and the revenue grow 10 year. And this is something amazing because thanks to these new free lines that you can find also in the cost of revenue, in the gross profit, in the operating expenses, and the net income too, you can definitely see how the company is growing compared to the previous 5 years, to the previous 10 years. And of course, this calculation is made also on the TTM, which is the trailing 12 month, which is a number that you have to analyze in order to understand if the momentum is running fast or not for the company, which is something, of course, it's going really well for Nvidia. Okay. Roy, any other improvements in the pipeline for Forecaster that you can share? Of course, guys, we are working really hard, and I believe that I can share something really juicy with you in the next weeks, and for sure something really juicy before the end of the year. Of course, as you can imagine, I cannot wait to give you my present for Christmas. And we are working hard. The developer team is working really hard in order to prepare your Christmas present, and of course you will love it. Okay? Yes, it's Christmas gift. Yes, of course, Vasim. Anil, of course you are in warm Malta, you are in t-shirt. When you are in Switzerland, you normally wear a jumper. Of course. I would like to show you something. Let me see if I don't do something bad, but look, I will show you something. Let me show you. Can you see me? Can you see me now? Yep, okay, because let me see. Uh, Let me see. Okay. Oh, I don't know if you can see now, but I would like to show you something because this is the entire team here in Malta of Forecaster. Look, I show you all the office. I don't know if you can see it. Say hello, team. And let me show you also here outside. And I don't know if you can see, but the city you're watching is Valletta, which is the capital city of Malta. And as you can see, it's very nice. Lot of lights, historical place. Really a nice place. And that's it. That one is Luciano from the Spanish team of Forecaster. This is Filippo, one of the designer of Forecaster. And that's it, guys. So, thank you very much. See you next week. And remember, if you have 1 minute for us, just give us a review on Google and Trustpilot. Thank you very much. Ciao, ciao.